Good day. I'm Orly Taitz, and this is Taitz Report. And I wanted to talk about something that probably nobody in the Obama administration would like to talk about. And that's the fact that not raising the debt ceiling will actually be the best thing that could happen to this nation. We're being frightened. We are told that if debt ceiling is not being raised, we would not be able to pay our debts. This whole country is going to go down the drain. That's a complete lie. There is absolutely no reason to raise the debt ceiling. All it is, it's Barack Obama seeking more money to gain more power over us, to make the rule of tyranny stronger. Let's think for a second. During Bush administration, George Bush was running on average less than half of $1 trillion debt. It was about 450 million, which is less than half a trillion. Barack Obama is running an average debt of 1.2, 1.3 trillion. Did this nation go bankrupt during Bush administration? It didn't. And if Obama will go back to the level of spending of George Bush, we can cut our debt by $700 billion, meaning from 1.2 to less than half a trillion per year. Furthermore, Barack Obama said that Bush ran this debt after, during, as you recall, during Clinton administration, Gingrich and Republicans fought for balanced budget. And they really pushed hard and closed the government to make sure that there is balanced budget. And that's what created balanced budget. It did not happen because of Clinton. Clinton actually fought it. Clinton is not much better than Obama. He was trying to spend as much as possible. But because of the Republicans in the Congress, the debt was manageable, and we reached the last year of Clinton administration. We're very close to balancing yearly budget. We didn't finish the debt. As a matter of fact, during Clinton administration, the national debt went up by $1.5 trillion, but of course it's not the same as going up by $7 trillion that we see during Obama. So during Bush administration, the debt that Bush was running was less than half a trillion. And Obama said that the reason Bush ran this debt was because he ran 2 wars on credit card and he lowered the taxes. What taxes were lowered? There was a credit given on payroll taxes. Well, just last year, Barack Obama has let this credit expire. So the taxes went up. The payroll taxes went up by nearly $300 billion. What does it mean? Well, it means that if we go back to Bush spending, and if Obama is spending not more than Bush ever did, we'll have not more than about $450 billion. Now, considering that Barack Obama raised taxes by $300 billion, it means that from $450 billion debt, you take the about $300 billion, you're left with only $150 billion of debt. Now, why did Bush incur this debt? Because there were 2 wars in Afghanistan, because we were attacked in 9/11, and there were 2 wars in Afghanistan and Iraq. Now we don't have those wars. We do not have troops in Iraq anymore. We pulled out of Iraq, and we pulled most of our troops from Afghanistan. We don't have active military action where we have to capture Saddam Hussein, whether there is an offensive. We don't have anything like this happening. So this 150 billion would be erased. There should not be this debt of 150 billion, remaining 150 billion, because we don't have this active military campaign going. So we came to a balanced budget. There is no reason for this nation not to have balanced budget. As I have shown you, $1.2 trillion worth of debt during Obama administration is just a bloated debt created by Obama in order to get more power. But if he goes back to spending that we had during Bush, it will be only 450 billion. From that, you take out about 300 billion of raised taxes that Barack Obama just raised. It's only 150 billion. And if you calculate that we don't have a war in Iraq at all, and we don't have active military campaign in Afghanistan, we should not have this 150 billion, remaining 150 billion dollars worth of debt. What does it mean? It means that from now on, there is absolutely no reason for this nation to not to have a balanced budget. And if we have a balanced budget from now on, there is no reason to raise the debt ceiling. When you run a balanced budget, you don't incur any more debt. There is no reason to raise debt at all. So, further, if we reach a situation of balanced budget and there is no need to raise debt, all of the threats that are coming from Obama become very clearly nothing but empty threats. So what should Republicans do? They have provided several continuing resolutions. Well, Democrats and Obama did not like it. They stated that they're exasperated. Okay, what can you do in this situation? Well, there is an old tale of a guy coming to a rabbi and telling him, I'm exasperated. I live in a small house with my wife and my 3 kids and my cat and dog, and I have no space. It's so small. I'm exasperated. Rabbi, I don't know what to do. Well, the rabbi asked him, do you live in a farm? He said, yes. Okay, do you have a cow? Yes. Okay, what you need to do, you need to take this cow and put it inside the house. Bring the cow in the house. The guy is shocked. He says, what? I have no space. How am I gonna bring the cow in the house? And the rabbi told him, well, just do it and come back in 2 days. The guy came in 2 days and said, I brought the cow and I'm so exasperated. I have no space to breathe, no space to move. I can't take it anymore. I'm miserable. The rabbi told him, okay, now take the cow out of the house and come back in 2 days. The guy came back in 2 days and told the rabbi, Rabbi, I'm so happy. I'm on the 7th heaven. I have so much space in my house. And that's what the Republicans need to do. They need to bring the cow in the house. They need to come up with a budget proposal whereby we will run a balanced budget. They have to provide a budget for 2014, which is a balanced budget, and announce it, provide the budget to the whole nation, let the nation see it, and explain that this is something that we have to do. If we don't do it, then the nation will go down the drain, because continued debt will lead us to sure bankruptcy. And let them respond to that. I guarantee you, if Barack Obama and Harry Reid and Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are gonna see a new proposal from the Republicans saying, here is a continued resolution and here is a budget for 2014, which is a balanced budget, and you have to live within your means, I guarantee you they will have a collective heart attack and a few stomach ulcers to boot. Why? Because there is no reason for us to pay 440 billion with the B dollars every year in interest only. There is no reason for us not to have a balanced budget. What all of those stories that we will not be able to pay our debts is a complete lie. It's a fraud. We can't pay our debt. We can't pay the interest on our debt. Today, Barack Obama is getting $2.6 trillion from us, hardworking taxpayers. What he needs in order to pay the interest on the debt is 440 billion at the most, less than half of 1 trillion. Military is 550 billion. There are only a few functions that the federal government has to perform according to US Constitution. Actually 5. It's defense, it's border patrol, it's postal service, it's tariffs, and it's coining. It's mint. You don't need any money to mint money. There's no money involved in this. Postal service can cover its expenses through postage. That's what they do. That's like UPS and FedEx. They cover the expenses through what you pay, and they make some more money. Further, in terms of tariffs, there is no money involved, and we don't have tariffs. They did away with tariffs. So the only 2 functions that they actually have to perform according to Constitution, military costs 550 billion, border patrol maybe 100 billion at the most. So we're talking about 650 billion and 440 billion in interest on debt. It means that it's only $1.1 trillion that we have to spend, that the federal government has to spend on what it has to do according to Constitution. It has 2.6 trillion, 2.5 times more than what it has to spend. It's enough money to do other functions that they agree to perform. Do they have to spend so much money on NSA to put those large facilities and store all of our personal data and spy on all of the Americans? No. Cut the funding to NSA. Do we need to spend all this money on IRS to harass Americans? No, they don't. Does Barack Obama, does he have to go on a trip to Africa and spend $100 million on a trip? No, he doesn't. So what does it mean? It means that we can and we have to cut the spending, provide a balanced budget, and show it to America. And furthermore, each and every US citizen has to call John Boehner. Why so? There is a Hastert rule. It's not part of the US Constitution, but it's an agreement that a person who is elected, if a Republican is elected as a Speaker of the House, he will not put to a vote something, a bill, that majority of his conference, majority of Republican Party that does not support. Democrats have a similar role. You would never see Harry Reid put to a vote something that majority of his party disagrees with. Why is it important? I mean, because that's the result of the election. If we have majority, Republican majority, we don't want a corrupt and dirty Speaker of the House who will be paid, who will make some deal with the other side, with the Democrats, find a few corrupt Republicans who will vote with the Democrats, and he will undermine the majority of members of his own party. That is why there is this Hastert rule. That is why there is something similar that's been done by Harry Reid. It was reported that John Boehner has sold out, that he stated that he will just disregard this Hastert rule and he will go ahead and vote. He will just be a turncoat. He will vote with Democrats to raise the debt ceiling for Barack Obama, getting nothing in exchange. Basically, that he sold out, and he will give Barack Obama a carte blanche to loot this nation, as he did in the past 5 years. Barack Obama incurred nearly the same amount of debt as all the presidents in 230 years of US history. This man is immoral, insane, unconscionable, at best, or he is somebody who is actually working for the other side, who is working to destroy the economy of this nation. Recovery is just a lie. We have no recovery. Today, he doubled the debt, and what does he have to show for it? Nothing, zero. In response to his adding the debt, we have less employment. Today, 10 million people who worked before Obama took office dropped out of the workforce. The number of people in poverty went up by 6.6 million. He achieved nothing, and he incurred debt nearly equal to what it was before him. And he's about to sign a TPP agreement, who will send more American jobs to other third world countries, Indonesia, Singapore, Chile, and we will lose more jobs. This man is either totally immoral, unconscionable, or he's working for the other side. Boehner should not give him a carte blanche to, and this carte blanche is raising the debt ceiling. Not even saying by how much, for what does he have to show for? This has to end. So I'm asking everybody, please, 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 burn those phone lines and call each and every US congressman, well, Republican congressman and Republican senator, and demand that they intervene and they work with Boehner and tell him, listen, we don't know what's your story here. How much were you paid to do that? But you better clean up your act and put it in writing that you are not going to put to a vote to increase the debt ceiling if majority of your party is not willing to do it. Don't turn sides, don't change sides. This country will not go broke if Obama's debt ceiling is not raised. It's the opposite. Not raising the debt ceiling for Barack Obama, that might be the best thing that ever happened to this country. That might be the only thing that will save this country from this unconscionable and immoral spending. So please call Boehner, shame the daylights out of him for doing what he said he's going to do, and call each and every Republican congressman and senator and tell him, don't make a joke out of yourselves. You better tell Boehner to clean up his act and not side with the Democrats, and don't even think of raising the debt ceiling. Tell Obama to live within his means. And if he wants to raise it by a small amount, he has to give something in return. And this return is delaying Obamacare for a year. And that was Taitz Report. Thank you.